Hello. Man, today was such a slog. I had the worst headache and the worst back pain ever. I just wanted the day to be done. But I'm going to start from the very beginning and get to the very end. So, it all started when I was woken up by my mom at I think, it was like 7:30 or 6:30 in the morning, somewhere around there. And I was actually woken up by what I thought were meows in my room, and I got up and I noticed that our orange cat Malcolm was in my room, and he wanted out of the bedroom because I guess my mom threw him into my room and closed the door. But I grabbed him and I pet him and I hugged him and I kissed him because Malcolm the cat is cute and I rarely ever get to pet him. So it was nice to do that. Then I went out of my room. I gave Malcolm the cat to my mom, said I need to use the restroom. I did that. Then I need to get some lunch, so I drank some. I got the cat and I pet him a bit more before allowing him to leave my room and then going back to sleep. I eventually woke up at around 9:30 or 10, so around there in the morning. And when I got up, I remember I was just sitting in the living room, kind of just slowly starting to wake up, you know. And then my sister came up and greeted me. I greeted her. It was the first time I had seen her in person since she left for the Comic Con convention with my other sister. So it was nice to see her. Then she let me know about these snacks that she and my middle sister got for me, which were alligator snacks. And these weren't like, alligator shaped gummies, these were literal alligator meat in the form of snacks. So, like, there was an alligator jerky stick that had beef and pork mixed with it, and there were alligator little, like, mini sausage Slim Jim things inside of plastic packaging. So I had the idea that we could record a little video review of me eating these snacks and then talking about it. So we ended up recording that. Before we did, I changed my shirt because my other shirt had hair from the cat on it. And then I washed my face so that way it wouldn't look super crusty from waking up early. So we recorded the video. We had some technical difficulties at first because trying to open the plastic casing for the jerky stick was really difficult, but we eventually figured it out. I cut it open with scissors, but then there was like a little gap that was open and not the whole thing, so my sister grabbed it and finished tearing it open and then gave it back to me. And then I ate it, and I reviewed uh, both meat snacks with the voice of Australia Man because I thought it was appropriate because it was, reviewing alligator meat. And, when I think alligators, I think Australia for some reason. Um, so, yeah, I was basically reviewing these meats. We recorded the whole thing. Um, I should probably edit that down and release it on my channel. I have the day off tomorrow, so I'll have plenty of time to do that. But the skimmy of it was, I thought they were both good. And definitely had sort of a nickely, like chickeny flavor with the jerky stick, and with the little mini Slim Jims. They were very greasy, and they tasted like Slim Jims, but the texture was a bit more tender than a Slim Jim. So those are the basic reviews, but I'll be sure to put together the final video and put that on the channel very soon. So after we were done eating that, we casted the footage we just filmed up on the big TV in the den and watched that. I was watching while I was eating a snack. It's pretty cool. Enjoyed that. And then afterwards, we split off to do our own things. I toasted some bagels in the toaster and had some coffee with that Frog's Breath night before Christmas coffee, which I thought was pretty decent actually. And then after that, I remember what happened after that. Then after that, I remember I went to my room and I was finishing up the video I watched yesterday of Ross Coulthart and this guy who studies the Martian surface. He formerly studied the lunar surface, and then they were studying the Martian surface, and talking about all manner of different interesting artifacts um, on Mars, like these like the face and like multi-sided like structures, and it was a pretty interesting deep dive, I would say. And one of the most interesting things that came from that viewing session was there's this thing called the glass worm that the writer of 2001: Space Odyssey brought up, Arthur C. Clarke. So yeah, and there was some footage or pictures shown of that, and I was like, wow, that glass worm looks pretty interesting. And then after that, I remember I was just looking on my Nintendo Switch. I was just looking through the eShop, just browsing. And apparently they updated the eShop, so it looks different now. And yeah, I was scrolling through it. It does look different. It does seem to run a bit faster, so that's nice. And then I tried to play a little bit of the game Bob Is You, and I got stuck on the second level I was on. I passed the level I was stuck in, but this new one I'm like having a difficult time figuring out how to pass through it. After that, I realized it was time to take a shower and get ready for work, so I went to the shower. I took a shower, I went out, put on deodorant, got dressed, said goodbye to my sister, told her I love her, said goodbye to our family friend, told her I love her too, and then I went to my car, I drove off. Oh, before I left, I grabbed a A&W Zero Sugar to ensure I had a soda with me for when I was on my lunch break. So eventually I arrived back at the back at work. I punched in, I put my soda up in the fridge, and got started. Just sweeped produce, break room, store floor, bagged. Yeah, checked the restrooms. Went on my first break, which I decided to do some breathing exercises. Around this time, I got a severe headache that just never went away throughout my whole work shift. It just was like around here, and it was like, oof. It was so painful. Like, I think it was because of the heat that just came in, and it was really, really bugging me. I just did not like it at all. But anywho, after my first break, I took out the trash begrudgingly because like my body was also hurting at the same time along with the headache, so it wasn't fun. But I was doing what I needed to do. And after the trash was taken out, I punched out for lunch. Went upstairs, had my sandwich with my chips and my A&W. It was a much needed reprieve. I had been drinking water throughout the day, so that was good, but wow, I just needed to rest up because I felt really like not in it today. Not in a sick way, but just in a muscle achy kind of way. While I was eating my food, I was watching a Jesse Michaels video that he posted where he's talking with another UFO researcher, and they were basically discussing what they believe is going on with the whole UAP phenomenon and how it seems to be loaded with deception and the occult and things like that. It's pretty interesting. Then I left, punched back in for work after my lunch break. Made sure to put my soda can in the fridge to grab later to put in my recycling. And then I spent the last 4 hours doing a lot of bagging, refilling bags in the check stands, um, bringing in carts, bringing in signs, clearing a lot, sweeping the store, punching in the sweeps, um, taking out a remaining trash. Just toughened through the day despite my less than ideal condition. And once I finally made it through, I was wiping down the last check stand. Some interesting conversations with my coworkers, co-manager. Punched, had to do something with like chips and being a Big Dipper, and I think what else? Asking if one of the coworkers had seen this movie called Obsession. I hadn't seen it. I just heard about it. I was just curious what they thought of it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, definitely don't watch that movie if you ever had a former relationship." And I was like, "Ooh, sounds intense." And then I punched out. I got my aluminum can, went down, said goodbye to my co-manager and co-cashier, and I went out to my car, drove back home. When I arrived home, I noticed that there was some food that was made, including Mexican rice and pork, pulled pork. So I heated that up. I heated a tortilla up. I made a rice and pork burrito. I ate that while watching a new Matt McMuscle's What Happened about the game studio THQ. Basically, like they prime themselves on licensed kids games, but then around the turn of the 2010s, most kids were playing on iPhones and tablets, and making larger budget children 3D platform games was just no longer a feasible thing anymore. So they were forced to split between two divisions, the kid division and their core division. The core division would make original IPs and more AAA big gaming experiences, and the kids division would make stuff like the U-Draw tablet and simpler games. The only problem was that even though U-Draw tablet did well with the Wii, it didn't really do that well with any other device like Xbox or PlayStation, because they tried to make an HD version of it for platforms that didn't have nearly as large of an audience for that kind of peripheral as the Wii did. So they kind of floundered on that. And ultimately, they had millions of unsold stock of the U-Draw tablet that caused their company's business to severely underperform, and ultimately the business went bankrupt. They had to sell off and liquidate all of their studios and their assets and things, and they were broken apart. Eventually, a company called Nordic Games bought a lot of THQ's remaining licenses, or not licenses, but properties, and rebranded themselves as THQ Nordic. So, in a way, we do have a remnant of the original company still in operation today, but it's not exactly the OG THQ. It's sort of like a completely different company wearing the THQ like skin over its face, I guess. If that's a better way to put it. Like, ooh, the corpse of THQ. Here I am, Nordic Games, pretending to be THQ. But in all fairness, though, THQ Nordic has made some really solid releases. Like they did the SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated release, and I played that and I really enjoyed that game, and I thought it was excellent. They've done the Epic Mickey rebrushed, and I played some of that on my PS5. Really, really fun reinterpretation of the series. Good game. It's just a remake of the original, but even so, they did a good job remaking it. Um, and they brought back the Darksiders series with a third installment, and I think they made a fourth one. So yeah, they at least resurrected a lot of their old IP and brought it back. So that's pretty cool. Very nice that that's still alive in some capacity. Anywho, yeah, after watching that, I decided to start getting ready for bed. So I took my vitamins, I brushed my teeth, and used the restroom. And then after that, I was like, oh yeah, I should make my update video. So here it is. Thank you for watching. I'm very tired, and my body, specifically and back neck, don't feel amazing. So hopefully, I'm hoping going to sleep will like help cure me or something. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.